on. Come on. Come and see. The Black Phone is a brand new psychological thriller. This one is directed by Scott Derrickson and stars Ethan Hawke as well as a bunch of kids. And if you don't know, Ethan Hawke and Scott Derrickson made Sinister back in 2012 or 13, which is a film I watched a few weeks ago and absolutely loved. I think that movie is fantastic, and I hope you guys enjoyed that little skit in the beginning. Basically, I absolutely love this movie. I'm just jumping straight to it. I know I've been doing that a lot recently in these videos, but this film is fantastic, and you know it's good when I want to make a stupid skit like that before my review. After being abducted by a child killer named the Grabber and locked in a soundproof basement, a 13-year-old boy starts receiving calls on a disconnected phone from the killer's previous victims. Now, The Black Phone was a film that I remember seeing the first trailer for, and I was like, is this like... I couldn't really tell what it was. I was like, is this a horror film? Is this a thriller? What really is this? And I think the closest film I can relate it to when it comes to like the genre is Silence of the Lambs. I know some people have been saying that, but it really is true. This film not only is just phenomenal, but it is so immersive. And if you don't know, I didn't know this going into the movie. So if you don't want to know one thing that is not a spoiler at all, just click off. But this film is set in the 70s, and I didn't know that. It's like 1978, around that time. One of the kids was actually taken on my birthday, November 9th, in 1978. I thought that was pretty cool to see, but I was very interested in this film as time went along. I was very excited. After watching Sinister, I was like, okay, this is really going to be great. This is the guy who directed Doctor Strange as well, and Ethan Hawke is like a top 5 actor for me. And in reality, this is like starring a bunch of the kids and Ethan Hawke. When you watch the film and the credits are like labeled, it's and Ethan Hawke. So if you know what that means, it kind of makes sense. But it stars Mason Thames, something like that. He is the main kid here, Finney, and he is fantastic. A lot of this film really depended on his performance and his acting in particular, because sure, you could go through and nitpick the random children here acting, but like, what's the point here? For me, the overall impact of the movie really matters, so I can kind of dismiss many things like that if they don't cross my mind right away here. But he is really fantastic here. Him and his sister are really good. There's some creepy cool stuff with his sister as well that I won't get too into in this video because it could go into spoiler territory, but this kid is amazing. Most of the film is just focused on him and how he has to escape this situation and the ways he tries to find around it, and other things there to do with the Black Phone, which makes sense when you watch the movie. And I think this kid is just amazing, and the way that he kind of goes against Ethan Hawke is just amazing. And Ethan Hawke is terrifying. He is so creepy here. There are so many times where he doesn't even say a word, and it's just his breathing. That's how you know he gave a great performance here. This really is Ethan Hawke's year. If you look at all the stuff he's done, Northman, Moon Knight, and this, he's just, he's carrying this year, in my opinion. I think that this film is amazing. This is one of my favorite films of the year, and Scott Derrickson's direction is once again just, as I said, so immersive. I really felt like I was in this story, and this is based off of a short story by Joe Hill, and who actually liked my tweet, which I thought was pretty cool. And you can tell that this is completely original. I compared it to Silence of the Lambs, but not at all for the story, only for like the genre of it, that it kind of like mixes a bunch, but in a good way. There are so many twists and turns here that you'd come to expect in all these horror movies. Of course, there's going to be parts where this happens and parts where this happens, but for me, I never really knew where this film was going to go, and that's one of the biggest compliments I can give any thriller or horror film, because it's just, when you watch so many horror films like I do, you have an idea of how certain stuff's going to play out. Oh, there's a chance where they escape. Oh, no, there's this. And, it goes on like that. But this film did not feel like that at all. It felt completely original and brand new. And I also loved the way it was shot. There were so many times early on where the camera would just pan across a fence and while some kids were walking, and that, even those shots like that were scary because it felt like, is there someone watching them? Is there not? There's little things like that that made me really love the film. The acting was brilliant for the most part. Again, you could go in and nitpick all the children across the board, and ones that had like a few lines. I don't really care. That stuff doesn't bother me in the end if I don't really think about it right away. I think that the scares here, there's one time where I actually did jump quite a bit. So this is a psychological thriller, but there are some horror elements here, and they are worked in there so well. I think that of all Scott Derrickson's films that I've seen, is that his name? Yeah, Derrickson. I keep forgetting. I think this is easily his best one. This really is his masterpiece so far. I think The Black Phone is one of the best films of not only this year, but of the past few years. This is probably my favorite horror thriller since Doctor Sleep in 2019. And if you know me, you know I absolutely love Doctor Sleep. I recommend everyone go and see this film because it's not one of those where you'll be like terrified hiding behind your blanket or your knees or whatever. You're on the edge of your seat wondering what's going to happen next. Yes, there are some pretty brutal moments here, I will admit. So if you have a super duper light stomach, don't check this out in the theater, but make sure to check this one out sometime because I really think it is worth your time. The Black Phone is the most riveting thriller I've seen in years. Ethan Hawke is terrifying and Mason Thames is a powerful leading force. The film is full of all the twists and turns you've come to expect, but you never know where it's going. When films still inspire me and affect me to my core like this one, then I know the filmmaker did something right. I'm gonna give The Black Phone a 5 out of 5. It took me quite a bit to decide what I was going to rate this film because, ratings don't matter as much as you think, but I really genuinely felt inspired. And, I made that stupid little opening last night at like 1 a.m. after going to see it. And when stuff like that happens, I know that I have seen something good. And when it makes you slightly paranoid, like it made my girlfriend slightly paranoid, I think that says something about this film. I cannot wait to watch it again. I know my dad wants to watch, so I don't know if we'll see it in the theaters or at home, but this is going to be like a day one purchase for me. I know this film has been splitting some people, so let me know what you think of it down below, and thank you all for watching. I will see you guys next time. Over and out.